Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of In Focus with Ken Clough Photography. I'm Ken Clough, your host, professional photographer, and someone who is endlessly fascinated by the way that we capture and preserve memories through images. Today's episode is one that's close to my heart and central to the way I approach my work with clients. The power of candid photography, finding truth between the poses. Over the years, I've noticed something again and again. When my clients talk about the photos they love most, the ones they keep framed on the wall or send to friends and family, they almost always mention the candid shots. Those unposed, unscripted moments where their genuine emotions and personalities shine through. In this episode, we're going to explore what candid photography really is, how it differs from other types of photography, why it's so powerful, and how I train myself to always be aware and ready for those fleeting, magical moments. We'll also dive into how clients connect with candid photography, why it can be so emotional, and how I balance candid shots with posed images to create complete stories. So grab a coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive in. What is candid photography? Candid photography, at its core, is about capturing life as it unfolds. Unlike pose photography, where the subject is directed, stand here, look this way, smile, candid photography steps into the background. The photographer becomes an observer, not an orchestrator. Think about a wedding, for example. There's the formal portrait session, the couple lined up with family members, everyone smiling for the camera. Those shots are important. They are keepsakes and often cherished. But in between those pose frames, something else happens. The bride might whisper a nervous laugh to her maid of honor. A father might wipe away a tear before anyone notices. The flower girl might get tired and curl up in her mother's arms. Those are candid moments. Candid photography is about anticipation. It's about reading the room, sensing when emotions are about to overflow, and having the camera ready before those moments slip away. It's unscripted, authentic, and in many ways, timeless. In contrast, pose photography is controlled and predictable. Studio shoots, professional portraits, or traditional wedding groupings fall into that category. They have their place, of course, but they don't capture the unpredictability of life in motion the way candid photography does. Candid photography sits somewhere between documentary work and fine art. It tells stories without words, relying on expressions, gestures, and interactions to create meaning. The emotional power of candid moments. So why is candid photography so powerful? Why do people respond to it so deeply? The answer lies in authenticity. Human beings are wired to connect with honesty and vulnerability. A forced smile doesn't resonate the same way as a spontaneous laugh. A staged hug doesn't carry the same tenderness as an embrace caught in real time. When clients look at their candid photographs, they often tell me, "That's me. That's us. That's exactly how we felt." They recognize themselves in a way that's hard to replicate in pose shots. Let me share an example. At a wedding I shot not too long ago, there was a moment during the reception when the groom's grandmother, who was well into her 90s, got up and danced with him. It wasn't choreographed. It wasn't part of the plan, but it was magical. The way he held her hand, the joy on her face, the laughter of the guests surrounding them, it was pure. When the couple later looked through the gallery, that photo stood out. They told me, "This picture says everything about the love in our family." Candid photography resonates because it's layered. Behind every candid moment, there are emotions, relationships, and stories. They're not just pictures. They're proof of how people felt. And when you look back years later, you don't just remember the event, you relive it. That's the true power of candid photography. It bridges time. It connects us not just to how things looked, but how they felt. Being ready, the photographer's awareness. People sometimes ask me, how do you capture these candid shots? Are you just lucky? The truth is, candid photography isn't luck. It's preparation meeting awareness. It's always about having my camera ready, my eyes scanning the room, my instincts tuned into the energy around me. Being ready means knowing the flow of an event. At weddings, I learn the schedule inside and out. I know when the toasts are coming, when the dances begin, when the traditions happen. But beyond the schedule, I watch the people. Who laughs the loudest? Who cries easily? Who seems especially close to the couple? Those are the people who often reveal the best candid expressions. It also means technical readiness. My camera settings are constantly adjusted to the lighting and movement around me. I don't have time to fumble when a fleeting moment happens. I'm thinking about shutter speed, aperture, and ISO in advance so that when I raise the camera, I can focus on the subject, not the dials. It's also about body language, not just mine, but others. I've learned to sense when a hug is coming, when someone is about to break into laughter, when tears are about to fall. You can see it in the way shoulders move, in the quick glances people give each other, and in the way a hand reaches out. Being aware means living in the moment right alongside my clients. I'm not just documenting their event, I'm immersed in it. That awareness is what allows me to capture the truth between the poses. Candid photography versus posed. Why we need both. Now let's be clear. Candid photography doesn't replace pose photography. The two actually work beautifully together. Posed images provide structure. They ensure that everyone important is included, that milestones are recorded. They're formal, timeless, and often used for announcements, holiday cards, or wall art. Candid photos, on the other hand, provide soul. They give context to the event. They show the in-between, the unexpected, the very human side of a celebration. Together, they create a complete story. Imagine a wedding album with only posed photos. It might be beautiful, but it might also feel stiff. Now imagine an album with only candids. It might feel raw and alive, but miss some of the key people and formalities. The magic happens when you combine both. That's why I always deliver a mix to my clients. The pose shots give them the anchors of the day, while the candid ones give them the heart. Why clients seek out my candid style. Something I've noticed is that many of my clients specifically choose me because of my candid work. When they browse my portfolio, they comment on the way I capture laughter, tears, and natural interactions. They tell me, we don't want our pictures to feel stiff. We want them to feel like us. That feedback means a lot to me because it tells me I'm connecting with people, not just visually, but emotionally. Clients often say things like, I didn't even realize you were there when you took that shot. This picture captures exactly who we are as a couple. This is one of my favorite because it feels so real. Hearing those comments reinforces my belief that candid photography matters. It validates the way I work, blending into the background, staying observant, and letting moments unfold naturally. When my clients seek out my candid photography, they're really saying that they want authenticity. They want to see their true selves, not just their pose selves, and that's a gift I love to give. The art of anticipation. One of the keys to candid photography is anticipation. Great candid photos rarely happen by accident. They happen because a photographer saw them coming. Anticipation means noticing when a joke is building in a conversation. It means predicting when a toddler at a family session is about to do something hilarious. It means being aware that during a wedding toast, the couple is likely to exchange a knowing glance. It's almost like playing chess. You're always thinking a few moves ahead, positioning yourself in the right spot, framing the right angle, waiting for the exact second when that moment peaks. It also requires patience. Not every second is photo-worthy. Sometimes you wait quietly, scanning the crowd, finger on the shutter, and then boom, the moment happens, and you're ready. That's the art of anticipation. It's what turns candid photography from snapshots into storytelling. Storytelling through candid photography. At the heart of it, candid photography is storytelling. Every moment I capture adds a piece to the narrative of the day. Think of a wedding day story told only through candids. The nervous glances before the ceremony, the tearful vows, the joyful cheers as a couple exits, and the wild laughter on the dance floor. Those moments stitched together tell a story of love, connection, and celebration. But it's not just weddings. Family portraits, senior sessions, and even professional branding shoots benefit from candid photography. A child playing with a parent, a senior laughing with friends during their session, or a business owner caught mid-laugh. Those moments tell stories of relationships, personality, and life. When I deliver galleries to clients, I think of myself as handing them back a book of memories. Some chapters are posed, formal, and polished. Others are candid, raw, and emotional. Together, they tell the full story of who they are. Why candid photos become favorites. When clients look back years later, it's almost always the candid shots that become their favorites. Why? Because those images age differently. A posed picture may eventually feel dated. The hairstyle, the clothing, a stiff smile. But a candid laugh, a spontaneous hug, or a shared glance doesn't age. Those emotions are timeless. I've had couples tell me, years after their wedding, that the candid photos still make them cry. Parents tell me that the candid shots of their children are the ones they treasure most because they capture their child's true personality. That's the power of candid photography. It creates heirlooms that never lose their emotional weight. Tips for those wanting more candid shots. If you're listening and you're planning an event or session, here are a few tips to help you get the most candid photos. Number 1, be yourself. Forget the camera's there. Live in the moment and trust me to capture it. Number 2, interact naturally. Hug, laugh, whisper, dance. Don't wait for direction. Just do you. Number 3, embrace imperfections. Candid photos aren't about perfection. They're about authenticity. Messy hair, wrinkled clothes, tears, they all tell the truth of the moment. Number 4, trust the process. Sometimes you might not even notice me taking photos. That's intentional. The less you focus on the camera, the more natural your moments will be. Remember, the best candid photos happen when you're not trying too hard. Final reflections. As we wrap up today's episode, I want to leave you with this thought. Candid photography is about more than pictures. It's about truth. It's about honoring the moments between the poses, the fleeting seconds that reveal who we really are. When I think about my work as a photographer, those are the moments I treasure most. Yes, I love creating beautiful portraits. And yes, pose photography has its place. But candid photography, that's where the soul is. So the next time you're at a wedding, a family gathering, or even just a walk in the park, notice the candid moments happening around you. The quiet smiles, the laughter, the embraces, those are the moments worth remembering. And if you're ever in front of my camera, know that while I will guide you through the poses, I will also be watching for the truth between them, because that's where the magic happens. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of In Focus with Ken Clough Photography. If you enjoyed today's conversation, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with friends. And as always, you can see examples of my candid work on my website and social media pages. Until next time, keep living your story, and I'll keep capturing it.